Welcome to Home Cinema and Tech Review. In this video, I'm going to solve a potential problem if you want to buy an ultra short throw motorized screen and a projector setup like me. I am happy with this setup, but I'm going to talk about potential problem. Your wife. Yes, if you got a wife, and many of the women don't like cables around because they tend to grab or, as a dust magnet, they bring dust inside of the places that you never want to have, that you desire. So with the jokes aside, I think men are women quite different creatures and we are created differently. So you might not talk as a man too much, but your wife will argue about your cables. And I hopefully will help you in this video how we can solve that issue. So in this video, what you're seeing is a Nothing projector screen, 120-inch ALR ultra short throw motorized screen, long main. If you want to buy this, there will be an affiliation code in the description below. I made a whole review out of it, and I created a lot of tutorials, compared it with the TV side by side, so you can go back and check those videos. I think this is one of the best ways that you can use a projector in a TV style manner, and projector is in 30%, kind of like echo, quite low echo mode, and still image is good and the room is lit. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic. What is the issue that I'm going to help you to solve it? So ultra short throw projector screens are basically getting the power from one side angle. Okay, so there will be no problem on the screen getting the power. But how the hell that you're going to get the screen power of your projector? So I've shown you right now with this white cable, because I want you to see it clearly. If I use the black cable, you wouldn't see the problem maybe that clear. So this is a white cable coming to the projector. I'm not saying use it like this. I'm going to solve it. But what if you have a HDMI cable from your Xbox Series X over there waiting for me to connect this? What if you have an HDMI eARC that you're going to connect your soundbar or your audio receiver for professional audio solutions? What if you have a PlayStation 5 for both consoles, or mini PC, or maybe NVIDIA Shield for better upscaling image for smart functions? I don't know your cinema setup, but basically if you have like a couple of devices that you want to connect your ultra short throw setup, there will be cables between the projector screen and the projector itself. The distance between the projector screen's metal aluminum case with the projector that I got, Epson 650, is about 35 to 40 centimeters. Up the screen itself, the material that you project, about 40-45 centimeters. So what happens? This is for 120 inch. What if I had 130 or 150 inch motorized ultra short throw screen? I need to pull the projector further away. So the distance will be 50 up to maybe longer distances depending on your projector. If you have like something probably similar, Epson LS500, which I like the quality. It's a 4K projector, quite a bright projector, but it has a longer throw ratio compared to LS300 that I got early and LS650 like here. That's why I'm not looking for them. They are cheaper because of the longer throw ratio. So what happens? You got to pull them longer, like maybe above my carpet level. So what happens then? You got a huge amount of distance where you have a couple of cables. And if you have like one eARC, one optical cable, one power cable, maybe satellite receiver HDMI or another console, like you got 4 or 5 cables coming right through your projector. So you got like a couple of options. I'm going to make my full recommendation in a short video as fast as possible, but I'm not going to fully show you. After I find the time for me, maybe in the future, I will apply it, maybe create a short video. But I will tell you the solutions that I find and I will hopefully apply. The first thing is we need to adjust the height of the screen to get the cables beneath and backside of the projector screen. Right now, the projector screens are quite close to the ground and I can put my even smallest finger, pinky, probably they call it somewhere around the world. So I can't even get my finger beneath. So how can I get this thick power cable and a couple of other cables too? So we got to add a small break of a layer to get these screens higher. You can probably use two of them from each side where they have the feet of the screen. The feet rotate and expand, but I can't use them expand because I am pulling these seats, taking them here, and take the projector out. When I don't use it, I don't leave it on the ground. The screen is closed. This is not my fully all the time usable setup because I have a balcony at the back that shows outside the house. So that's basically not an option for me. So I just jump across the screen, go to a balcony if I want. So these seats will come back here and this projector will be leaving the place. What I'm going to do, I'm going to buy a cable canal. This is the cover of the cable canal that I use right now at the back of the couch. So these canals can handle a couple of cables depending on their thickness. So you can buy them with different colors. If you got a black, buy a black. If you got a white, buy a white. But it's going to be at the back side of the screen, so it's not going to be too much of a seeable stuff. But if you have, larger space where the back of the screen is also showing itself, that's what you should be doing. Try to find a similar color with your projector screen case. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start from corner of that side because my cables are going to come from that side, but I'm going to show you from here. I will stick a cable canal from here around the side and I will come right into the middle where my cables are going to come beneath the screen directly to the projector. That will solve the back side of the projector screen and get the cables together for me, easy of use. But still, I have second problem that appears. If you have an HDMI cable and power cable, they will be leaving here like this. Even if you pull the projector out, there will be a couple of cables laying around. That's the first problem. The second problem, how you are going to hide the rest of the way. So you can buy another cable canal for the ground levels, and there are some round shaped canals, like they call it in fish canals in Turkey, in my country, because it's rounded like a fish surface. So fish's body, like a shape of a round, half maybe, let's just say half of a round surface. So you can use a canal system, but still when you pull up the projector, it won't be looking that good. And how are you going to match the color of that canal with the projector screen or the ground color? So that's one of the difficulties. So I prefer, and I'm going to suggest in this video, just get yourself a probably 1 or 2 finger height of a bookshelf style shell and create it closed sides and put a hole right inside where your projector needs the cables, and pull the cables out from that hole, and you're going to put your projector. And if you paint that thing with the same color of your projector screen, you're going to be fine. Like if you create a black surface with like a rectangle or square-ish, depending on your projector drawing distance, you will have a good closed section where nobody will see the cables. But this ends here. The one other thing that you can do is you can run cables from the ground up. Like you can literally create a tunnel inside of a ground level, but you can ruin the floor. So it's up to you. And you can also use some carpets. Like there are probably carpets that you can apply to the wall, entire surface. Maybe you can hide the cables beneath the floor of the carpet, but still, if you put your projector on a carpet, it will get more dust inside because carpets are holding more dust. You can clearly clean the floor with maybe a little bit of wet towel, and you can be aware with amount of dust on the floor. So I don't suggest to use rugs for ground leveling and hiding the cables. One other thing is, this is the complete reason I am telling you in this video why the TV cabinets for ultra short throw ALR screens makes sense, or fixed ALR screens make sense for some people. You're going to be seeing some fixed screen reviews in the channel, But I love the motorized ones because I am using them and I can close this screen. Behind here, I have a balcony and I can get these two seats and finish my setup. You won't even notice that I got a full cinema setup right here when I closed everything up. So the motorized is more versatile for me. But if you got a fixed screen, it will be mounted on the wall and you can use a regular TV unit to match it with ultra short throw projector and everything will be slim, slick, and the cables are much more easier to hide with a TV unit. But this is why ultra short throw projector screen manufacturers are creating cabinets for them. The cabinet can hide the projector, also give you a rail system for the projector. Everything will be opening in the same time. Your projector goes out, your screen goes out, and that'll look more professional and more premium. One other thing, there will be holes in those cabinets, so you can put your gaming console in, you can put your multimedia receiver, audio receiver that you can, cool down. So there will be maybe fans in those cabinets. So they're going to be performing a lot more than you think. So you might be thinking like, hey, the TV UST screen cabinets are 2 or 3 times expensive than the screens itself. Yes, it's a furniture, but it's a lifelong lasting investment. Like you can buy it or you can try to solve the problems like I did or I explain here. So it's up to you. I've tried in this video to explain how you can solve some of the problems. Of course, you're not going to be solving some of the cable problems if you choose this route. You have to put also canals to the rest of the place that you go around with. Other than that, the cabinets are always more practical. It's up to you, but in this video, I think I showed you enough of an idea. I hope these ideas will help you to better choose whether to go to cabinet to spend 2 times more expensive, whether to go fixed screen because it is onto the wall and it's going to be really flat, or use the versatility of closing down the screen, carrying it onto another room. And if you got a wall at the back, you're going to be having a couple of different screen sizes. You can go forward, get a smaller screen. One thing that you should be taking a good care of is the total height, because right now my first advice was to get the screen higher to get the cables beneath, but there will be an issue. Take a look at the picture. 2 finger space that I got at the bottom of the picture for the 120, and up top is fitting just exactly where I need it to. So if I get the screen higher, the bottom line of the screen here finishes. Here is the transparency area for audio transparency. If you have a center speaker, sound bar, or some sort of any kind of like speaker, this is an audio transparent section. You can't project here. So you need to really calculate your height adjustment. If you adjust the height, I know my top line will go higher. That's the good stuff. And I don't have to use 2 finger height just to pull a couple of cables beneath the screen. So I might be able to okay with just 1 finger height, and I'm okay with that. But calculate your height correctly, and I think that way you can solve a lot of cabling problem. That probably won't be solving your entire problem with your Vive cables projectors. So it's up to you. Everything is depending on your, of course, family members, house solution, placements, but still, cables are not going to be looking cool. This setup is very cool, so you gotta create a solution. You can always create a custom, let's just say, if you're good with tools, you can create a wood box, like a dedicated, not a TV unit, but something to keep this projector screen inside, and also some sort of extension for your projector. And you can make it a little higher. But if you go big, like 120, and bigger like 130, 150, if you get the screen high, that'll also get the picture totally high. This is my perfect couch level of watching an image. Like if you're going to watch it just with a straight couch positioning. So it's up to you. So I hope this video helped. This was just a short coming up an idea of a solution. Let me know what you think. If you have solutions, write at the comment section below. If you have created a solution for this sort of issues, let us know for home enthusiasts, and I might share your solution. If you got a product for solving this sort of issues, if you got a maybe TV unit like a cabinet, maybe I can review it in the future, because cabinets are really, I think, hiding a lot of stuff and helping a lot of the stuff that we use in a home cinema setup. I hope to see you in the next video. Until the next video, hoşça kalın from Turkey and bye from Home Cinema and Tech Review. Don't forget to like, subscribe to channel, and just go around the channel, find the reviews and guides. Make your decision smarter. You don't have to pay extremely high to create the best setup. What you see right now, 120-inch, is still costing less than a 75-inch OLED TV. Well, you can also buy a QNET in the same price range, like 4K projector, QNET TV 75, 120 ALR screen. What more could you want? Well, I wouldn't go bigger OLED instead of this, but it's up to you. Watch my guides. Bye.